Buddy, this is the Fakeologist Show. It runs Sunday through Thursday between 8 and 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is Tuesday, and Tuesday is my only standing guest now. Only one standing guest
The
left
best one.
standing. He's the one, the only Uncle Vigilante. Hello.
Ola, I'm the best guest that you have left, right? I mean, can we establish that?
The best and the only right now. What a coincidence. But yeah, you have stood the test of time. Yeah, are you tell me if you do end up bailing on the show, could you just let me know and not just disappear? Because it's
Dude,
always handy. Just
dude, I will never bail on your show. Now, I may miss
never say never,
a, tu-
because
a
stranger things have
Tuesday,
happened.
a Tuesday here or there, but no, we've been together for how long? Since the beginning of 2020, I think. And
Yeah, been quite a
and
romance.
no,
Romance.
as I'm not that kind of guy. I'm a loyal dude, and you are too, and we have a
Yeah.
good thing going. And I love, like tonight, I came to the table with like not much to talk about. Put a message in the chat, the Epic Cash chats, that this is a call in show, and if people want to call in, it's 810-666-1984. That's 810-666-1984. Would kind of like to make these Tuesday evenings,
More
just
interactive. Yeah.
more interactive, and feel free to call in. But my channel, it's the Uncle Vigilante Show, and that is the YouTube destination where BTC Maxis come to drop their huggies, because we unapologetically cover Epic Cash. What is Epic Cash? We are an undiscovered asset that has purposefully been flying under the radar, my friends. And if you are here paying attention, welcome to an amazing financial future. You are likely already an Epic Cash OG, which I know you are, my friend Ab the
I
Fakeologist.
am. Thanks to you. You've boosted the crap out of me. And I appreciate that. That's
You bet, you bet. Hey, feel free at any point in time to put up your
it's
QR code for your Epic Cash deposit for support, because I want everybody, please, let's just surprise Ab every single week of how our community responds to awesome truth tellers like Ab the Fakeologist, which you can find at fakeologist.com and fakeotube.com. If that's not one of your daily visits, then I'm sorry about that, because he curates all the videos out there, that are probably likely banned by social media everywhere. He nabs them before they can be banned, and he owns YouTube. I'm sorry, fakeotube.com. That is his server, which I believe now, Ab, you paid the upgraded fee so that you could be decentralized and stream from 5 different countries, if I have that right. If memory serves.
yeah, that's right. I just upgraded the service because it was a little slow and sluggish. So what I've done, I did two things. One, I've mirrored it in 5 different places. 2 in
Okay,
America, 1 in Canada where it originates, coincidentally, and 1 in Europe and 1 in Sydney, Australia. My
great.
number one vis my number one country of visitation is America, and that, of course, could be anywhere from anyone in the world because people use VPNs. I don't have
Sure.
anyone from China, so I'm assuming a lot of the Chinese probably would use America as their number one go-to to VPN towards the show, so you don't really know where people are coming from. They have to tell you pretty
Mhm.
much. But, yeah, so and I also have caching, which, I did that first, and I sort of forget how that exactly works, so I sort of pay in 2 different ways. But
Mhm.
duplicating the server across the world did really help. I find it extremely fast. It's faster than Rumble. I have over 5,000 videos, and yeah, I curate it myself. I don't really allow too many people to upload just because I can't really maintain
Except me.
Yeah, you're in, of course. There's really only you and Rachel. Rachel is a frequent poster at the Fakeologist forums,
Awesome.
fakeologist.com/forums too. And I said just upload some of your videos if it relates to your post, but otherwise,
Excellent. Well,
I yeah.
I since I've been getting really knee deep into Epic Cash, I've been a little bit
Yeah.
uh, out of pocket as far as uploading.
Well, that's fine.
But man, I really appreciate your service. I visit it every day because there's
Well,
always something there. You just save me a whole lot of time. It's just very, very efficient. So again, FacoTube. I'd like to give a few shout outs if you don't mind.
go ahead.
First one is I invite everyone, if you are remotely interested in cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, and want to learn more, I invite everybody to go to Freeman U on Telegram, which is t.me/Freeman U. That's with a U, not a YOU. And there are two brains in there that are debating right now, going back and forth with an amazing conversation. And it's Johnny, who I met. He's from Manhattan, and I met him in December. I flew up there, and the guy just he just blew me away. I mean, I don't even know really what we talked about because it was so far over my head. But a really really amazing guy, great heart. And speaking of Manhattan, there's a gentleman in the well, I presume a gentleman. Why should I presume that? But he or she goes by Manhattan, and they are having an exchange in there that is again a little above my head, but I'm starting to catch on a little bit. But it's just so cool to see so many smart people that are really engaged with Epic Cash, the ecosystem, the future, and people who really, really are committed to the pursuit of superior money. And also want to give a shout out to Dark Star. He is a wonderful, not new community member. He's been in the background for a while, but he's really stepped up lately. Uh, Everyone, if you'd please go to cryptocoinshow.com, cryptocoinshow.com. The CEO of that is Ashton. He has done over 1,200 interviews of literally everyone in the space, from John McAfee to the CEOs of every major company that is in the space. And we've been trying to get his attention for a long time, but just little old us didn't quite hit the radar. And God bless Darkstar, man. He is like a honey badger, and he just kept in touch with Ashton and kept sending him information. And then when Max, our founder, started the DNA of Bitcoin podcast, he's had just some amazing guests that have also appeared on CryptoCoinshow.com. One that hadn't appeared there was Mark Cuban. And at the end of the interview with Max Freeman, Mark Cuban's jaw had dropped, and he can't wait for everyone to ultimately hear this. But he just basically conceded, and he said, "I'd like to learn more." And he invited Max after the first of the year to come to Dallas to talk to him more when things settle a little bit. So when Ashton from Crypto Coin Show learned about that from Darkstar, he then, I don't know, he became more open-minded. He started doing his own research on Epic Cash, started liking what he saw, and then made an offer to us that I really think is an astonishing offer, basically discounting his service by almost 60%, 65%, if we denominate in Epic Cash, which means he didn't want dirty old BTC. He didn't want dirty old USD or UST. He wanted Epic Cash. So on Friday, I want everybody, if you would, to please tune in to our live stream, because Crypto Coin Show has set up an Epic Fund Me, and I'm going to have Yoga Dude on, who he's the one who created Epic Fund Me. And this is a way for people to be able to make their case to the community for a fundraise. And I'm going to spearhead this fundraise for the Crypto Coin Show, because it's going to give us, at this point in time where there is a crypto winter, a crypto crisis, where FTX and everything around us is melting down, this is an opportunity for us to get some amazing positive attention in press, really, to where Ashton will interview Max, and there's 3 components to his value proposition. I will explain it more on Friday, but I just invite you to show up. I'm going to start the fundraise by personally donating 10% of the raise, right out of the blocks, right on Friday. I'm just going to ask him to put up his QR code. I'm going to take a picture of it and immediately send 10% of the raise. So if we want to show people how that works, Ab the Fakeologist,
Yeah.
do you have
you?
QR code that you could pull up?
Oh, thank you. I thought you'd never asked. No, I appreciate that. Epic Cash is there's my QR code, which I guess will bring up the Veet app. That's a Veet transaction. So
The Veet, you go to Epic 002, you hit send, and then you hit the recipient address, and then you can hit scan, which I just did.
Oh, you should know.
And come on. I don't know why it's not. Oh, there it goes. All of a sudden, there becomes an address. And I think tonight, I'm going to send you.
Oh, don't tell everybody. Or should you?
Well, hold on.
Take your time on this.
I have a long ass password.
If you use RoboForm, it'll fill it in for you.
I didn't need to. Just check your wallet. How many did you just receive?
I'm watching.
Yeah. So
500 Epic. Thank you. No, didn't go through yet.
It didn't
25. Thank you. Wow, that just popped in. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. See how fast that is. So I'm going to do that on Friday, and to start the party off. And I just really encourage everyone. I don't ask for anything from you, but I am going to ask of you for my guests, like Ab the Fakeologist. So the last shout out I want to give is to Jam. I want to make a note to try to just point people to his Twitter account, epic_hodler. He's the one managing our Twitter spaces and the podcast Let's Talk Epic. And please, let's support Jam as well. Listen to the Twitter spaces. They go live every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And get in there and comment and support and vote for the next subject. Just awesome stuff. Okay, so enough of the.
And on there, he's promoting the Stack wallet. Are we using that now, or are we still on Veet?
Oh, well, yes. So the Stack wallet. If you go to Stack wallet in your applications, highly encourage you to be able to download that. But what you want to do first is you want to go to t.me/Epic Cash Help Desk, and you want to ask them how to get the GUI 4.0 wallet. On Veet, it is a great exchange, but basically the Epic that you hold on Veet is like an IOU for Epic. It is not on the base layer 1 chain. And so it's like everything else, not your keys, not your coins, right? So what you want to do is be able to get the GUI wallet, which they have made so simple. This gentleman, Sky King, and Pool Boy, collectively, they've created, it's an amazing wallet. And you set it up on your computer.
How do I get that?
You go to t.me/Epic Cash Help Desk,
Okay.
and you can search for GUI 4.0 instructions, or you can just ask them in there, and they'll direct you on a link on the instructions. It's easy peasy. It's so easy, I was able to do it very, very easily. And then you can actually have your Epic. It'll give you instructions on how to get them off of Veet. Keep whatever you want on Veet for your play, right? If you want to trade or whatever, but you definitely want to get your holdings, the majority of your holdings, off onto the actual Epic blockchain, to where it is your keys. That is your. Let's just think of all the people that thought, oh, it's safe to keep everything on FTX. Right? They're screwed right now. They've lost all their money. So
Is that the same? Is that the same problem possibly with Veet in the future? Or
in anything to where that requires trust,
yeah,
right? So it is just, look, as great as Veet is, it is an exchange to where what you are acquiring is not the actual Epic Cash. It's an IOU for it.
it's a Veet token. It's all
Yeah,
in Veet token.
it's not a Veet token. It's an Epic 002 token.
Oh, okay.
But you want to ultimately get that on your own, in your own personal wallet, where you have 24 keywords. And then what you can do, and I did it this morning because I was having a hang up with the Stack wallet, to where it was showing me the same number every time I logged in for the last 30 days. And
Mhm.
this morning I decided to completely delete it off of my iPhone. And then it's so cool because all you have to do is, it's so easy. You download the Stack wallet by CyberStack, and
Yeah.
then and then and then you just restore your 24 seed words, and boom, your wallet now. It's kind of like if you do online banking and you have it to where you can access your online banking on your computer, right? But then if you add the online banking app to your phone, you're getting the same information to the blockchain, which is your wallet. That's your real estate on the blockchain. So it's just basically a different way of seeing the core base layer blockchain. So we love Stack Wallet, and what's cool about Stack Wallet is it has several other privacy assets on there. XMR has BTC, which is not privacy, it has Firo. But you can actually swap assets. So if you want to get into XMR, you could, but you can't with Epic, because what's required within Stack is a relationship with changenow.com. So back to Darkstar. He's like a bulldog. He reached out to Change Now, who has these requirements that you have to hit all of these requirements, of which Epic Cash hadn't yet, including market cap, et cetera. And he was just a honey badger in talking to them about the positive attributes of Epic Cash. And we have an 11 a.m. conference call with their team that addresses all of this. So Max and Darkstar and Islo and Yoga and I, we're going to be on there tomorrow. And if we can get on Change Now, that does kind of change our world a little bit. It's one of these things that every little single that we get like this, we don't need home runs. Give us a single here, give us a single there. It's just all building to, where we're headed, which, like I said, we're an undiscovered asset that has purposefully been flying under the radar. But we're with everything burning down around us, people are starting to pay attention. That's really, really, really cool. So let's see. So that's Change Now. That's tomorrow. So hopefully we have some positive news coming from that. We shall see. And then what's coming up is we're getting really close with buyepiccash.com, which is going to allow people to go to buyepiccash.com, buy Epic Cash with their credit card. and actually get your Epic Cash to settle on the Epic blockchain to where it's your keys. It's gonna be a game changer. I'm
Wow.
hoping people are starting to pay attention, because when all of this stuff starts to operationalize, we're not going to be at 42 cents or 50 cents or a buck or $5. 685 is our all-time high. I am really bullish on the fact that I think we're going to blow through that and then some. You know, I'm not going to give a date, but I'm bullish like I've never been before. Um, Man, gosh, there's so much to be excited about. EXPL, you've never heard of it. It's cross-chain protocol liquidity layer for Epic Cash, powered by the XPL token. Uh, it is going to be another game changer. And when I talked earlier about Johnny in Manhattan, Johnny is the brain behind this. And as I understand it, the dude has an, I don't know if have this right, eidetic memory. Eidetic, anyway,
Is
he
that
doesn't,
is that memory he has or you have?
he doesn't
Okay.
forget anything. I mean, legitimately.
Is that
And
photographic memory?
it's different. It's different. Photographic memory is different in that you can't remember everything, including emotions. Now, the crappy thing about the eidetic memory is dislocate your pinky, and guess what? You can memory recall that pain. So that's kind of the sucky part about it, as I understand it. But anyway, he is knee deep in EXPL. And look, I am knee deep in Epic Cash, and I learned things like EXPL, on a weekly basis where I hadn't heard about anything. But all of a sudden, Max will bring up within a meeting, "Oh yeah, we've made lots of advancements on EXPL," and I'm like, What's that?" "Oh, it's cross-chain protocol liquidity layer for Epic Cash, scalable, confidential, mimble wimble, proof of work, layer one." I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I don't know, but so yeah, by the way, 810-666-1984. We are open for business if you want to call in, anyone. Because I've kind of covered everything that I wanted to cover here. Uh, what say you, my friend Ab? What's going on in this world that you and I can riff on? I mean, I've been totally disconnected to the mainstream media, and because mostly I don't care. But I know you're plugged in. What's happening? I hear China's in a little bit of an uproar. Is that fake or not?
I don't know. I'm not really tuned into that too much, as you might imagine. I guess it's been going on for a couple weeks, and they've had COVID zero for a long time.
Yeah,
But I know there's a lot of disinformation about China, whether it's a good place or a bad place, or it's different in different parts of China. I'm really not too tuned into that right now,
yeah.
so I don't have a comment or a commentary so much because it's sort of been
I,
off my
I saw
radar.
something to where it showed that they were welding in people's doors.
That's from a few months ago, though. I even remember that from last year. Uh,
I auto hoax that, because
yeah.
I'm like, that is just too easy to just, I just don't believe it. But
Yeah, but I just don't know. I don't know what's going on in China, and I think it's really hard to know because I don't believe that China is the enemy because I think the US works with China, obviously, and
hmm
they own China. China's but so I just don't know. I know
yeah,
there's many guys that I like to follow on YouTube that I haven't really paid attention to. One guy's name is Serpenza, and he
okay.
allegedly married a Chinese woman, and he had said he had to leave China after being there a long time, and he lives in LA, and he's kind of anti-China at this point, and he's a South African guy, and, that's on YouTube,
Mm,
Serpenza, and, Matt Ehret, who's a Canadian that I like to follow, he is sort of pro-China, and he says what we're getting is not the real deal for China.
Okay.
and then there's the Epoch Times, which I think is I can't remember whose side they're on, whether they're anti-communist Chinese party or whether they might be sort of affiliated with, the people that wanna make China more globalist and less for China, less nationalist. I guess that those are the 2 opposing forces, nationalist and globalist.
Mhm.
So it to me, I'm even confused by, um, what's going on based on those different propaganda outlets because they all have their own slant. So,
Well, speaking of,
I
propaganda,
I don't know.
give us an update on what's shaking up there in Canada. Is it kinda just business as usual, or does it look like they're, starting to push lockdowns and all of that nonsense again?
Yeah, once more, I don't really know. The thing that's been consuming Canadian news is they're just doing an inquiry or an investigation whether the emergency act from the truckers' protest in February was necessary. Now, this is a normal part of the legislation.
Okay.
Anytime it's evoked, and it's never evoked, it's only been evoked a few times, there's supposed to be a inquiry as to whether they did the right thing. And I think even our crime sinister is coming out on top. He did testify,
Oh, we
and
did?
people yeah, he didn't have to really, but most of his supporters say he did quite well and it was worth it for him and he passed the test. And don't forget, we have to remember that there is a pretty decently sized, I would say 30% of Canadians that are for all this. They want to join the new world order. They think and by the way, I have to turn off. Well, I guess we're on your YouTube channel, so I guess I'll just choose my words more carefully.
Okay.
So there are people that believe in the whole, narrative, and
Right.
therefore they support it. So they support our crime sinister. They think that the truckers were out of line, and they think, they outlasted their welcome in Ottawa, so they were happy that they finally got their,
You
um
threw out a number of 30%.
I
Um,
think that's right.
think I think that's not right.
Okay,
I
you think it's
I
higher or lower?
it's way higher because I think in the US, it's way higher.
Well,
I
I would say I think I've heard a lot of people say 30% are hardcore for
Okay.
something, but there's the mushy middle where there's about 45%, maybe 50% that they can go either way. They're swayed by the wind, they're swayed
Mm,
by being convinced, they if so I really and don't forget most governments around the world and so-called democracies, they're voted in with about 30 to 35%
right.
of the popular vote.
Well,
So
did you hear the news that, uh,
no.
Chris Sky
Oh,
is
yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
that Chris Sky is,
This is drama that you're bringing up,
yeah, this is drama, that Chris Sky is at war,
and I
right?
put this on FakeOTube,
Yeah. Yeah.
and Chris Guy this guy, I so many people wanna write him off as controlled opposition, and
No,
he addresses it. He's
no.
not afraid to address it, and he'll yell right back at you.
But the fact that he's outed that he's gay and his lover is Jeff Berwick, that's what blew me away. That's the hot news today. Did
Mhm.
you see that? I'm joking.
No, you're joking because you have a bit of a,
History?
personal
Yeah.
history about the whole Jeff Berwick,
Yep. Just
pirate
by the way,
coin, pump
I
and
was
dump.
right. I was right. I'm usually right.
So you still yeah, so I just saw this video. This was linked in a comment. This is why you gotta go through comments because
Yep.
somebody put this comment in an unrelated video. I can't remember whose video it was. Oh, it was actually Insanity for Sweden, who I've interviewed a few times.
Okay.
Somebody just dropped this link to Chris Guy, who was apparently on the Corona Investigative Committee with this German woman. I
Yeah.
thought this thing was over, but I guess it's an ongoing show now.
Ah.
So, I don't really understand how what happened with that thing because a lot of people think that was controlled opposition, where they had Reimer Fulmick on. So I wasn't sure if this session 132 was new or old, but I think it's new because it says November 25th here.
Okay.
And obviously, and Chris brought up, I think he was prompted to bring it up. It didn't seem spontaneous to bring up the whole controlled opposition where he trashes Dollar Vigilante here,
Let's see.
and it's right around here somewhere. I'll just unmute this. And
Yeah, I watched this today. It was very good. I have to give him major props, man.
oh yeah, you
For
do.
some for somebody, he is so amazingly smart because
He
everything
is
he
smart
does is off the top of his head, and he can literally speak
for an
for
hour.
a half an hour or an hour, not say the same thing twice, but have it all weave together to where it comes full circle. I have major respect for Chris Sky. Um,
I do too. And you interviewed him, I think, too, didn't you?
yeah,
Yourself?
yeah, he loves Epic. Yep.
Yeah, I do too, and I don't think he's controlled
No
opposition,
way.
and he's
No way.
addressed it so many times. I mean, he's very anti-Canadian. He's very not typical Canadian because he's very loud, very
Yeah.
boisterous. He's very differently. He appears differently with the tattoos from head to toe,
His wife,
and the wife. And I know there's a little controversy around her. And then he says some sort of outrageous things that the average person might be turned off. I think the average Canadian doesn't like this personality, but
I
maybe
sure. I'm sure. Yep.
but me I don't know, is that the same, do you think, for the average American?
I think if the average American watched him, they would be turned off by him.
Yeah.
Um, and there would be I don't know, call it the 80-20 rule.
Mhm.
The 20 people that I would say, gosh, I hate this term, but are awake, that are non-NPC types that actually seek the truth and have eyes to see and ears to hear. I think they
Mhm.
can hear his message and connect the dots, because what he has done so effectively is he has connected all of the dots. I remember back when you and I first started in
Yes.
2020, my overriding question was, everybody says they do this, they do that. And my question was, who are they? And he has just nailed it. I mean, just how it circles back to the WEF and uh, the IMF, and it's just it's beautiful and brilliant. I think it is. And so if people can look, and he's trying to protect you and your freaking kids and your progeny. By the
Yeah.
way, yes, and he's just encouraging you to have a set of nuts. Um,
Oh, yeah, he went about that today, saying all men are just denutted.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, take my kids. Let me put them at the altar because I don't want to swim upstream. Vaccinate them, make them wear a mask because I just don't want dissension. I mean, when I listened to that, I'm like, boom, bam, nailed it. It's what I want to say to all of these people abusing their children by making them wear, cover their ability to naturally breathe. How freaking stupid do you have to be? How in the how far in the sand does your head have to be to believe this BS? Just drives me nuts. Drives me nuts, as you know.
Yeah, and he really nails it every time, and like you said, he can go on and on for an hour without taking a breath. He
Or saying the
it's
same thing twice. He does not have
yeah,
a narrative that he just has memorized and repeated. This
and
is
he
just
does say the most important things that are going to happen. He
that's right.
doesn't get bogged down in
That's right.
or, you know,
That's right. And a lot of it comes full circle to they win when they control you with these CBDCs and
yeah.
they ban cash. You lose, they win, you are a slave.
And he
So
has been saying that pretty consistently for 2 years. He doesn't really get bogged down, on if our virus is real or are they contagious
right.
because it is I agree it's important, but I don't think it's the main point anymore because it doesn't matter what the truth is. Because if people believe the opposite, then we're not gonna convince
No.
the majority, and we just really have to keep our eye on the prize, which is
Well,
what
that's been my aha over the last 6 weeks. I would say I've really kind of come full circle
Mhm.
to the reality that facts
Don't
really don't
matter.
matter to people. They
They
really,
never have.
and that it's just is kind of so far beyond my level of comprehension, just in being logical about how I approach life. Facts
Yeah.
are very, very important to me, and trying to but man, oh man, that just I think that there are I'm starting to believe, well, I believe the NPC theory, but if I'm kind, I'll modify it a little bit and not just determine people to be non-player characters that they don't have the ability to critically think about anything. I just think maybe there is a giant subset of people that are prone to hypnosis, that are just their minds are just so malleable for whatever reason, that they are so easily hypnotized by the media, and the media is expert at what they do, and they've had lots of years to work on this.
Well, the
They're
people that control the media. I don't like to say the media because
right.
it's like blaming the roads for car crashes. It's whoever
That's a good
put
point.
yeah, it's whoever is pumping the
Yeah,
media with their narrative, and we know
that's
that's probably the intelligence agencies that work for the elite, the bankers,
right. Yep.
etcetera. And, further to that point, last night we talked with Tom Quinn, who also was talking about what you just said, hypnosis. So he actually gave a couple movies to watch
Oh,
that,
cool.
deal with his hypnosis, and if you go to
What
FAK 653, in the show notes 678, there's a movie called Mesmer, a movie called Black Magic, and a movie that of sure we all have heard called The Manchurian Candidate, the original one. There was 2 of them, and, he recommended those 3, all about
do you find
hypnosis.
Mesmer and Black Magic? I've seen The Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, so you go to FAK 653 and show note number 6 and show note number 7, I put the link to the YouTube. They're all on YouTube. So you can just type MESMER. I don't know what they're about. He did explain it in the show, but, I'll have to lay out
Good,
some time. And
good.
further to your thing about facts don't matter, and, it's really all about emotion. There was a really good Adam Curtis documentary series from 2001, I think, and, I have to think about what it was called. I thought I linked to it on morab.fakeologist.com, but I did not. But I have been watching that. It's about 6 hours. It's a series,
And what
and
Adam Curry, it's on YouTube?
it's Adam Curtis,
Oh, Curry.
and he's you've heard of him. He's the documentary guy, and, let me just look him up real quick.
Yeah.
Adam
What's
Curtis, by the way, I use presearch.com for all my
tell tell
searches.
tell us about presearch.com, because, people probably don't know about it, and they should know about it. I don't use it myself, but I need to start using it.
It's pretty easy. It's presearch.com. I think it's a Canadian startup. It's decentralized. Its main claim to fame is it's not Google, so we can start there.
That's
And, just you can collect it has its own token or crypto to encourage you to use it. I don't know if they're worth anything, but if you log in, obviously it's keeping track of what you're searching. You don't have to log in, but I log in because you can customize it. So if you look on the left of your screen here, I have all these custom searches. So for
mhm.
instance, if I looked up Adam Curtis, I can customize my search. You can have custom search engines underneath pre-search. So if I click on this, it's search on Fakeologist. I'm gonna see if I talked about Adam Curtis at all on Fakeologist,
Wow.
and here we go. So there's some posts in the past where I linked to Adam Curtis's documentaries, and if I just look at his list of documentaries, I'll remember what it's called because I don't. It's called The Century of Self. Here it is here, and it's someone put it on YouTube. It's about 5 hours, and he was just talking about a lot about Freud and Bernays and how they realized that the facts don't count. People don't care about them. They're not persuasive.
Yep.
It's all about emotion. And Bernays was using his uncle Freud to just get into
You know,
the
do you know what?
sexuality part. It's all
I want to tell you a little bit about emotion, real world emotion. Okay. Um, this is kind of out of left field, but I work for a company I've worked for 23 years plus, and very successful company. Uh, Co-founders of Priceline.com and lots of other companies that you've used probably, but don't know that you used. And was just reminiscing with my good friend Mike Puccinelli, who is in Epic called Mr. P. Um, and I hired Mike, gosh, 20 years ago, and we've been together ever since. And he's CEO of two of Michael Loeb's companies. And we were reminiscing about back in the days when we were building a company called Synapse Group that we sold to AOL Time Inc. for $1 billion. And we were talking about Friday shots. So most people, when they'd hear, "Have you taken your Friday shot yet?" you'd be thinking alcohol, right? Well,
Okay. Yeah.
Friday shots were, we would either get a call from one of the two founders of the company, Pooch and I, and it would be like at 4:50, 4:55. And it would always be something that would just like knock us back on our heels. Like, did you do this? Why hasn't this been delivered? I need this by Monday. And it's like they literally, uh, it was part of the culture that they couldn't allow you to go into a weekend feeling relaxed. And now it sounds miserable, right? That every Friday you would get it, but it became so predictable that we just kind of knew it was part of their psychological, methodology. But it played on what? Emotion, right?
Mm, okay.
Not the facts of the business. It was just the emotion. Now, was it manipulative? Yes. Was it effective? Yes. And we were talking about this last week because Friday at 2:00, I get a call from Michael, CEO. It's like, Dottie, I need to know.
Toddy.
I need to know about these 14 accounts. And he lists off 14 accounts. And I'm like, Jesus, I don't know, man. And I'm like, Michael, I'm gonna have to get back to you. I was just about going in for round number 2 of Thanksgiving dinner. But so if you'll please give me until Monday, I'll begin working on it. But it was just it just brought back all of these memories to where it's like timing is everything. And I can tell you, I didn't think about a whole lot over the weekend except my deliverable back to him for Monday on giving him an update on these 14 different accounts. So it's just it's like emotion is king, right? Because it wakes you up. If it's something that's fear based, like with your job, right? It does induce fear when there is like a demand put on you at an odd time. Now, I don't think that this is manipulative by my bosses at all. This I don't think Thursday's call was. I just think he was genuinely interested because we're going into December, and we really need these 14 accounts to the agreements to be signed from a private equity investment standpoint, a fundraise that we're doing. So he was just looking for the update, and but it brought back the memories of the Friday shots from a decade ago or more. So yeah, I think people are hardwired that you tickle their emotions and you get results. You present them with pragmatic facts and they kick the ball down the field a little bit. It's not as immediate to their attention. What do you think of that?
Yeah, and that's really what this Century of Self is all about, where he's talking about Edward Bernays. He's figured that out. And that's how they did all kinds of crazy things, like convince Americans that it was good to join in World War One,
Mm-hmm.
and just rehabilitate dull presidents. I think starting with maybe was it Harding or Hoover, where he started bringing Hollywood people to the White House.
Mm.
So just really appealing to emotion and just ignoring the facts. And Adam Curtis does a really good job. It's 3
That's
hours, it's 4 hours. I'm just listening to it in the background as I do things, but
I
a lot of
I
Eddie Bernays.
I love that. I love that kind of stuff. Thank you for letting me know. I have Adam Curtis, the
Yeah,
Century.
I'm putting it in the show notes. This will be show note number 1. I haven't really kept all the epic show
Okay.
notes tonight, but,
Uh,
I'm sure you're gonna talk about them on Friday mainly on your show, so, uh
Mesmer, Black Magic, YouTube. So where do you go, everyone, to get insights like this?
I know. Well,
Where
this is
do
a
you go?
different kind of show, but it's good because we have our varying backgrounds and
Yep,
interests, and,
I love my Tuesday nights. I
I
miss.
wanted to hear more about this FTX thing because I think the whole thing was just a huge setup. I'm not sure if you're really listening to it too much about the whole story. I'm only getting bits of it through the No Agenda show. I don't really dive deep, but when I heard this guy Bankman, who's apparently the father, I'm convinced the guy's an actor. I don't think he knows anything about regulation and crypto or securities. I think these are all actors. I really do. I'm just convinced
It
this is
could
a total
be. Look,
psyop.
it's
These guys sound so stupid. There's no way they could be.
yeah.
There's
Look,
just no way. Is it to mock the people that are looking into this whole subject? Because your guys, when your guys that you interview, they sound like they're really intelligent, but these guys that allegedly ripped off billions of dollars, they sound like idiots.
yeah. Well, they tee them up, right, to be like this Sam Bankman-Fried fraud. Uh,
Yeah,
he's
it's worse than Madoff, and
yeah. He's the
Madoff was another hoax too. I don't think that was a real story in the
yeah.
sense that
He's the new greedy entrepreneur and the morally bankrupt spiritual leader, right? Or he's
yeah,
made out to be. Like there have been.
and it's really to trash all cryptos, including Epic. They really wanna trash it in people's minds, so people just want regulation. They want the
Well,
government currency.
yeah, the great irony of the collapses that we've experienced lately is that nobody has to use these firms, right?
Mhm,
The simplest answer ultimately is greed,
mhm.
because people, uh, you know, when they get on there and they have these exchanges that offer leverage, then it's like, you know, it's gambling. It's gambling. But, ultimately blaming everything on greed, I think is too simple. But I think what we've learned from all of this, first, I think we need to stop with the cults of personalities, right? When you think about Michael Saylor or Michael,
But that's just how humans work. You're
yeah,
not gonna get away from it.
yeah, that's right. Um,
More emotion, not logic. There's no logic. No real investor would have pumped their money into this, spaghetti bowl full
yeah,
of
yeah,
corporations linked to this and that. Although there have been cases where real investment firms have lost real money in real scams. I can think of a couple. Bre-X in Canada is one of them where
right,
that was there was no mine. Are you kidding me? Nobody went over to look at the hole in the ground to see if there was anything in it?
right.
That happened.
Yeah. Well, and I think the success of this whole, experience, crypto experience,
Mhm.
um, is and always will be about the tech, the underlying tech that will change lives, not the money, and certainly not the hype, but it just got so hijacked. And at the same time, there's just this endless tribalism that is within crypto. Um, which is what I enjoy a lot about Epic Cash, is that we are starting to attract a lot of people from other tribes who are coming over, and they're actually having really amazing conversations within Freeman U. That again, I invite people to come just be a voyeur. That's what I am during the day. It's like I go to Faco Tube and I see what you're up to, and I go to Freeman U and I'm like, okay, what can I learn today? Um, and then, ultimately, I think within crypto, we need a better approach to venture capitalism, capitalism,
Hmm.
um, just because it's the wild, wild west, and anytime it's the wild, wild west, uh, and I'm not saying, hey, yay, I invite all kinds of regulation, but man, uh, when you there are so many scams out there. So at some point in time, we need to address that to be able to vet that out. I think one thing that Max and the Epic ecosystem is focused on is infrastructure, and that's where people like Johnny come in, and we really talk about building things out right from an engineering tech standpoint. Um, but yeah, I hate to say it, but I think that we need better regulators out there, because naked ambition masquerading as doing good by people with a messiah complex doesn't just infect the industry. It also infects some of the people who regulate it, right? Like Gary Gensler is a good example at the SEC. Um,
Right. Yeah.
but I don't know. We need to
Or the regulators of pharma, they've proven
right.
completely useless, and if you if that doesn't convince you that regulation means absolutely nothing, really,
Yeah,
and
that's right. That's right.
it's
And you know what? We need to start in crypto differentiating between good innovations and the
mhm,
inevitable get rich quick schemes that result, right? Because
mhm,
that's what I've learned, like with this whole crypto vigilante experience,
yeah.
is that these people latch on to, again, they're selling emotion, right? They're selling people the dream. Uh,
Well, they're also selling fear, and that kinda worked on
that's
me
right.
a little bit. I didn't invest that much, but I invested enough to be aggravated by
Yeah.
that collapse and
You know what?
participate.
My counsel to everyone, which is why, and everyone's going to say, of course you're going to say this, but I have over 500 hours of, you know, YouTube video covering Epic Cash.
Yeah.
And what I have learned, what I believe personally is we need to stop rushing to embrace the next hot thing.
Mhm.
You know, I think you go narrow and deep, not shallow and wide, hoping that something may hit. I think that will help keep people's, financial resources closer to safe. Um, you know, we need to stop relearning the hard lessons of history because these scams just kind of step and repeat. Um, but you know, at the end of the day, I think crypto is going to make it. And there are those who are going to be in the right asset or assets. And what we've gone through over the last year, I think, has been tuition. And those of us who are here, that have the wherewithal to not abandon the asset class, but instead embrace the right fundamentals within it, are going to be the ones that are left standing at the end of the day. And I know I'm just an Epic evangelist fanboy, but again, I'll put my track record up against anybody's on YouTube covering crypto, and show me another asset that is from the original white paper to where we are currently has not pivoted a centimeter, and is more Bitcoin than Bitcoin, and is defensively designed to where it's regulatory friendly. It is going to be what the SEC ultimately points to. Epic Cash is going to be what the SEC points to when these people are saying, but, you know, we never had a chance to be able to do it right. And they're going to point to Epic Cash and say, well, they did. They did it right. So what's your excuse now?
And I gotta watch this. What happens if governments ban Epic Cash? This is on Epic Hodler.
Oh, it is
What
so good. I'm telling you, people can go.
you got a punchline on that audio? Did you listen to it?
Me, I don't have a punchline to it, but I listen to all of them.
Mhm.
Um,
Is
they're
it will the governments ban Epic Cash or all cryptos?
Well,
And
what Epic Hodler does is he puts out a survey
mhm.
every week to the community, and he asks if you go to the top, there's probably a survey question right now, um, to where what is it that we want to talk about this coming Saturday, and you vote on it, and then that becomes the topic, and then you have a group of folks who are in the community who come in and they just riff on it like you and I do, and there's just some really really smart there it is, you can see right there, yeah, that's the one I chose,
Yeah.
uh, and so Saturday that's what we'll talk about, and
Are you
and
on that show too?
I've been on it a couple of times, but I try to in the spirit of full disclosure, I do Tuesday evenings, I do Wednesday at noon, and I do Friday at noon live streams, and
Oh, that's
so
a lot. That's a lot
I
of talk.
also have, my day job to where I'm responsible for biz dev for 22 portfolio companies. And I have a family and I really, really love sports. So I really try, I'm doing a better job at saying no. I've had to say no a lot the last 2 weeks to Max, who's wanted me to be part of a lot of different, new emerging groups, and I've just had to say, look, I'm not going to be good to anybody if I just overcommit. And one of the hardest things for all of us to do is say no, I think. So I think my oar is wet enough, and it works for me. So I will be on Twitter Spaces if the timing permits, but I do listen to every single one. I really get a lot out of it.
All right. Yeah, I'm just looking. You got two. YouTube is strange because if you go on videos, it says you haven't uploaded anything for
But
four
look on,
months. But then you have to click on live, which is so
I know
confusing.
it sucks. People have been telling me that lately. They're like, your latest video is 4 months old. Why don't they just give you everything under
I
videos?
know, like FakeOTube does that. And just to close out, because we're over an hour now. Just getting back to Chris Sky and Jeff. Like I personally think that it's not really fair the way Chris attacked Jeff, but on the other hand, Jeff's retort wasn't good either. So I think they're both sort of basing their little
Can I,
fight
can
on
I tell you my
misunderstandings.
thought? Can I tell you
Go.
my thought?
Go.
Is I think Chris Sky jumped the shark. I think that he went too bold and aggressive.
Yeah.
Um,
And he's
inst-
and he's kind of wrong in his arguments as he has been in the past.
yep, yep, yep. So I agree. If I'm being pragmatic, and I watch Jeff's retort, I can totally see how Jeff would basically say, "Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah,
What do you mean?"
exactly.
But that is, the downside of being that aggressive to where
Mhm.
it's either black or white. And there's a lot of gray with Jeff Berwick, his take on world events and everything. I really will always respect. It's just I've always enjoyed his walks with Lucy. I just fundamentally don't trust the guy, and I think that his business model on purpose with intent, uh, with regards to crypto, is to fund his Mexican ranch and his lifestyle and stuff. So that's where I believe that the guy is a psychopath of sorts. But that's just my opinion, and I guess everybody needs to make a living. I would just prefer it not to be on, my subscriber base. But Chris Sky, I think, went a little too aggressive. But I also think Chris Sky is the ultimate honey badger. Once somebody punches back, then I think he is like he's going to be insane until he wins, right? So he's not going to stop going after Jeff until somebody says uncle, which Jeff probably will ultimately, my prediction, just forget the guy. Just let him fade to black. Like, okay, dude, right? Punch yourself out.
Yeah.
Um, But that fight that Chris Sky has, I admire. But at the same time, I just think you can be a little too aggressive sometimes.
And I think he just takes one little thing and without researching it makes a huge opinion and bases his whole opinion on something, and
Yeah,
it probably is wrong. His
right,
assumptions on just a simple logo of Vice TV, I think he's totally wrong. And he
right,
comes across as just being flying off the handle, I guess is the
right.
best term on just no information. But you know, with all these guys, you just take whatever you think is good information out of them. You don't have to take everything they say.
Yeah, but
Just
I
take
think
pieces that you like. That's
I
how
think
I
yeah,
take all these guys.
I think it ultimately comes down to the accountability of your own discernment,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
You should. I call it my quarter red flag. Always have. It's like sometimes I get a quarter red flag when someone's saying something that just makes me stop and go, and I always pay attention to my quarter red flags. They've served me well over the years. Um, they
Me too.
usually end up being big red flags after a while. Oh,
Yeah.
I like that music.
Well, that's our closeout music, and this has been about an hour. And I told you wouldn't need any callers. You don't need any help filling an hour, even if you say you have nothing.
I had
You,
nothing tonight, so I hope people
yeah,
enjoy my
you
nothingness.
you don't need any help at all, Uncle Vigilante. And I just have to say a couple words, and then you take off. So we probably don't even need callers, but we're open to them, but not tonight. Tonight we went all the way without anyone calling in, which is fine.
Yeah,
And
I
so
forgot about.
yeah, you forgot you invited everyone to call in, but we
Yeah,
had more than enough to talk about.
we did,
So
and what we're looking at right now, those of you who are part of the Epic community, just please, please, please,
you don't
you know,
have to, but it's nice.
take a little snapshot, send a little love. I mean, send a little love. This stuff is important. And, ultimately, Ab is providing an amazing service to all of us with FakeOtube and Fakeologist.com. And I just enjoy the heck out of you, Ab. I love my Tuesdays. And when I miss them, I apologize.
It's fine. But at least you communicate. As long as you tell me, I'm very flexible. This show is I'm on and off and it's very casual, but we try and be here regularly so people have something to rely on. We do have regular listeners, but yeah, as long you always give me a heads up, even if it's an hour before, it's fine. It's not a problem. That's how we roll.
That's how we roll. I love rolling with you, brother.
All right.
You're
Well,
awesome.
keep in touch and thank you for joining. I
All
appreciate it.
right. See you,
Okay.
everyone in the chat. Love you
Yeah.
and leave you. Cheers. Bye bye.
All right. Take care. And there goes Uncle Vigilante. If you like the show, fakeologist.com fakeologist.com /donate. We may be back tomorrow. We'll see. It's busy time for me, but I got to put up the Christmas lights. But we should be back tomorrow, and no specific guest, no specific topic. Just going through the day's events should be enough. We got lots of drama on fakeologist.com comments. We got the forums. We got FakeOtube. There's lots to go to talk about. But in the meantime, we will see you tomorrow night. Good night.